Let's talk about the easiest way to make menus and UI in GDevelop. And that's with the new custom objects. When you click to add a new object, you can find them in the new objects from scratch list. There's a button, a slider, a toggle switch, a resource bar, and a resource bar that uses separated units. And when you click on one of these, it'll take you to a bunch of pre-made ones you can pick from, or you can click skip and create from scratch. If you pick one of the ones that are pre-built, it'll come with all the values for that button already added to the object. But if you want to add your own, there's no problem switching out the images and changing the values yourself. Now before I explain these objects, understand that this is just the start of custom objects. This is just the first attempt at making pre-made or prefab objects, and soon you should be able to make and share your own. So we'll not only be able to make and share extensions with each other, but we'll be able to make entire objects to make game making even faster and more accessible to everybody. Now let me start with the button. It has a text label that's on top of it, an idle state with its own image, a hovered state with its own image, and a pressed state with its own image. And so when you go to the event sheet and add a condition related to a button, for 90% of what you're doing, there's is clicked. So before this, for a button, you would have to check if the cursor was over the object, if the left mouse button was released, and include a trigger once. And then you would need a whole list of events just to control the animations of the button. But now it's all taken care of by the object. The next two I want to cover are resource bars, one being the continuous bar type, and the other being individual sprites. The bar type has text, a fill bar, a buffer, and a background. Whereas the resource bar with the individual sprites just has the fill bar, bar, and background. And you can immediately tell what these two are for because you've seen them in games before. You'll often see the bar type used for a stamina bar or things like that, and the sprite one you'll usually see for ammo, health, and some kind of consumable. Now for both bars you set the initial and maximum value inside the object itself. And then we can use the button objects and this action that's specific to the health bars to change the value of the health bar itself, to add or subtract one to that value. And this will take care of all of the heavy lifting of displaying a resource bar. And you can even see with the continuous type that when I subtract health, the buffer bar stays there for a little while, like you would see in a lot of fighting games. But you can adjust how that works inside of the object. And now the next one is really simple. It's the toggle switch object. You would use this for a mute button or to turn something on and off. This object just has two states, unchecked and checked. And you can click this box above to tell it which one to start as. And then in the event sheet, just use the condition is checked, or invert it to check if it's not checked. And the last one is really convenient because slider bars can be pretty difficult to set up on your own. So the slider bar has a label which shows up above the thumb to tell you what the value is, a thumb, which is what you actually drag along the bar, a fill bar which shows up behind the thumb, and a background. And these are really simple to use because when you want to affect something by the value of the slide bar, you can just go to the expression builder, type in slider, and you'll get the expressions related to that. You can select value, and then pick the slider bar you want to use, and you'll just have the value there. And you can use that to control the volume in your game or to manipulate objects. Now if you want to see a game that benefits from the custom button object, check out this video.